Closing techniques are a way to ask a customer for the business. A lot of salespeople get into selling automobiles because they say, I like people, and their personality is really more suited for a customer service person versus a commissioned salesperson. Understanding how to close a customer is how to ask for the business. I'm going to make a statement right now. The ease of closing is in direct ratio with the selling job that precedes it. In other words, closing should not be hard at all. It should be very simple if you've done the right setup previous to that. Years ago, we used to spend very little time on greeting the customer and asking what their needs are, and then presenting the product, and then spending all the time in the sale closing the customer, beating them up over price, back and forth, back and forth. Today it's changed. We spend more time in the beginning, in the greeting, understanding what their needs are, slowing them down, bring them in to the dealership, do the inside interview, spend more time finding out what their needs are. If we find out what their needs are and do more questioning and slow them down, then we'll take them to the right vehicle and not have to go from sticker to sticker to sticker. What happens, by the way, when you go from sticker to sticker? They get confused. So that's why the inside interview is so important. And then we only spend very little time asking them to buy. Why? Because now we've landed on the right vehicle. We find what their needs are. And so it's a lot easier. I would have salespeople list closing statements, 10, 15, 20 closing statements that work best for them. What do you say when a customer says the price is too high? Or what do you say when the customer says, I don't like the color? Or what do you say when the customer says, I have to check with my spouse? There are only 86 objections a customer can come up with. That's over 22 years of research of writing them all down. Now, we're going to be going over that in a couple minutes, how to handle customers' attitudes. But for right now, I want to do a little bit more on closing techniques. In closing a customer, we want to be able to ask for the business. People do not like to make decisions. So I ask you to stop asking them to make one. Make the decision for the customer and then ask them to agree with the decision. This is one of the simplest and easiest closes to use. Let's get together today, okay? Could use that for an example on the phone for an appointment. Let's go out to dinner tonight, okay? Let's go surfing today, okay? Whatever it is, let's go out and play golf, okay? You didn't ask him, do you want to go play golf? You said, let's go ahead and do it, and then ask him what? To agree with the decision. People are uncomfortable making decisions. So make the decision for them. I find that people want to make decisions, they're just uncomfortable doing it. So make the decision for them and then ask them to agree with the decision. This is one of the simplest closes you'll ever use, and you probably use it all the time. Let's okay. Let's go on a test drive, okay? Now, that one I'm a little careful on because I generally never ask people if they want to go on a test drive. I would just sit in the car with them, turn the engine on, and go and drive down the street with them and do a switch. Now, in a lot of places, you need to have a dealer plate, and you need to go take swipe scan with their license to let them know, who you're out with on the road. So it is a little inappropriate to just kidnap people today. But we used to just get them in the car and drive away with them. And that was the start of the test drive. Then we'd stop at a real nice changing point and then let them drive going back. But you need to have a way to close the customer. Closing is a way to ask for a decision. Now, we teach approximately 100 different closes. One company, 15 different closes. We learned just recently on watching Webb VT, the sequencing close. But I'm going to teach you a couple closing statements right now. And then later on, when we get into the closing with personalities, we'll revisit these. For right now, I would like you to write down, please, the sharp angle close. So we write that down, sharp angle close. Now let's go over what that sharp angle close is. If I could, would you? Write that down. If I could, would you? I'll let you finish writing. If I could, would you? And then you go over the car business has been built on the sharp angle close. Unfortunately, it has been used too often, too soon. But if I have spent 3 or 4 hours with a customer, I've earned the right to ask them, if I could make the numbers work for you, is this the car you'd like to take on your next holiday trip? That's the if I could, would you, a little bit softer. Now I teach that if a customer is coming right at you, meaning they're a dominant personality, you can actually use the if I could, would you in the first 5 seconds. I'll give you an example. And I could use a closing technique in 5 seconds with a customer. I walk up to a customer and he or she is looking at the sticker. I walk up to him and say, good morning, my name is Paul, I can help you. Say, I can help you. Ready, go. I can help you. Customer turns around and goes, what's your best price? Now that personality type is what we call a dominant personality. So I've taught salespeople very successfully to say this in response. If I can get you the best price, you ready to write me a check right now, sir? And the key ingredient is you have to smile. And we're going to go over that a little bit later. But the sharp angle close is the best way to get that person to go, guess I have a real salesperson here. Now, if I have Mr. and Mrs. Cream Puff, the nicest people in the world, they've bought 4 vehicles from our dealership. And within 10 minutes, the wife turns to the husband, or the husband turns to the wife and says, gee, honey, this is a great vehicle, and turns to you and says, does this car come with a moonroof? And if you look at those people and go, well, if I'm able to get it for you with a moonroof, you ready to write me a check right now? That will blow up in your face. Even though it was only 10 minutes, it's too soon, too hard on that particular personality. So closing is an art. How to ask for the business. The sharp angle close is one of the more direct closes in the car business.